Hello everyone, that manga kid here to give my first impressions on Ron and the Grey World, and this is by Aki Irie, I don't know. Sorry about that. Aki is the first name of the author, or the mangaka. Um, so Ron and the Grey World, as far as I know, is going to be a 7-volume series. It's been completed in Japan for quite a while, few years now, but we're getting it at this point, and I'm really, really glad that we are. I first read, I believe, the first chapter of it as a sample on Viz's website, I would assume, because this is a Viz title. Usually they put samples when they're releasing new series, and I remember reading it when they had originally released the first volume. I enjoyed it, didn't pick it up right away, recently acquired the first 3 volumes, and I read them yesterday. Absolutely loved them. This was mostly kind of a cover buy in terms of I had seen these covers and or the first cover, I guess, at the time, and just was blown away by the detail. And inside the volumes themselves as well have a ton of detail. I'm just trying to find a good. Like, it's really beautiful artwork, which is nice because, again, sometimes when you see really, really wonderful covers, then you end up with not as great artwork inside, but it really is as fantastic as the covers would lead you to believe. And this is the story of Ron, who is the young girl here on the swing, who, when she puts on these sneakers, turns into this teenager. Basically, Ron is about 9 years old, I believe, and 8 or 9. She's in 4th grade, and she constantly wants to be older. Her mother is this, like, sorceress, I guess, and she's away from the house at the moment dealing with something, and she's aspiring to be her mother, basically, and she wants to be older and she wants to be mature. And so when she puts on these sneakers, she turns into this older teenager, and she roams around and does her thing. But she's quite a troublemaker, and her poor brother and father down here, constantly, mostly her brother, but her father as well, constantly have to clean up after her messes that she makes and the trouble she causes, and trying to find her and make sure she's safe. Now, there is a character named Otaro, who is I don't know if he's on this cover. Oh, yeah, he's up there. Older guy, kind of sleazy, seems to be sleeping with many, many women, and very rich, obviously, based on his lifestyle. He comes across Ron in her older form and is now, like, smitten with her, but doesn't know that she's actually a little kid. And so he is trying to seduce her and trying to, whatever, get her to like him back or agree to be with him or whatnot. And she's nervous and scared, but flattered, but she's also a child, so she doesn't really understand entirely what's going on. And then there's also the underlying plot of whatever the danger that her mother is dealing with, because her mother's a very powerful being, is trying to keep this door closed, because we don't know what's behind the door, but we know it's bad based on their behavior. So there's a overarching plot of some danger that is looming that we don't really know the full extent of at this point. But honestly, I'm not much of a fantasy person. I don't really like fantasy stories, but this has gripped me. All 3 volumes, read them in one sitting. Absolutely loved it. The characters are wonderful. There's a little boy who likes Ron, who's one of her classmates, who is really adorable, but also kind of a little doof. He's just, I don't know. It's all completely wonderful. I can understand where people get kind of grossed and weirded out by Otaro being this adult creep who has a thing for Ron, who he believes is a teenager, which is a problem in and of itself, but who is actually like 9 years old. But honestly, I'm just interested to see where this goes. I'm interested to see how Ron develops. She's got this new, like, teacher that her mother hired to teach her magic or whatever they call it. And to teach her to be a better kind of sorceress or whatnot. But it's so cool. Like the art is amazing, the story is so compelling, and I guess if it's only 7 volumes, it really isn't that long. So I'm interested to see what they do with this story, and for sure by the end of it, once I've finished collecting and reading it, once it's all released, I will definitely be making an updated, just full review of this series. But so far with these 3 volumes, if it continues on this pace, I am going to absolutely enjoy the whole thing. Um, highly, highly, highly recommend this if you like kind of zany characters in a fun, interesting world. That because they're magic, but the rest of like they're in the human world though, because her Ron goes to school, a regular school, and her classmates don't know that she's magic, or she can do magic of any kind. So it's a bit like it's not really explained who her family is and why they have these powers and what their existence means or anything, but I don't even mind that. I'm just interested to see the interactions that are happening, and I want to know what is behind this dangerous door that her mother's trying to keep sealed. um yeah, it's just fun. I'm having fun, and that is why I love manga. Is it's so interesting and fun and different, and I really love this series. If you read this, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. If you have any questions about it, certainly leave them down below for me or anybody else to answer in the comments. And yeah, highly recommend checking out Ron in the Gray World. It's been a really fun ride for these first 3 volumes. Thanks for watching.